Hello, it's that time again. Get up, get off the couch, and tackle your own to-do list. Bob's old school, but this is one app I love. Hello, Hamilton. Welcome to the Just Ask Bob show. I am your host, Bob Asadorian. We kick it off today with another viewer's email. Hello, Bob. Can you please do a show on garage door openers, specifically the side mount or wall mount units? They appear to be an incredible design and are very efficient. And Bob, can I install it myself? This is from Trevor in Hamilton, Ontario. Thank you, Trevor. I really appreciate the email and the question. We've put together a show where we are going to install a garage door opener for you. Now, as far as you installing it yourself, again, depending what the project is, the comparison I usually give viewers or homeowners, if you're going to tackle plumbing, fine. The worst that can go wrong, you're going to get your socks wet. If you tackle wiring, that's another story. Potential personal injury or even death. So you have to know what you're going to try to tackle. Now, on today's episode, we want to demystify some of the fraud behind garage door installers and also showcase some of the different types of units. Now, one thing that I learned many years ago from an installer is the spring. The spring that lifts your garage door opener is under high tension. And I was told right from the installer, if that spring snaps, it could potentially take your head off. So I'm not really going to endorse garage door opener installs or the door installation as a DIY project. If you want to try it, you have to make sure to be absolutely safe. What we're going to do now is we're going to kick it off by taking down and disposing of the old unit, which is an overhead unit. It's a monster, 12 feet of metal and plastic, being replaced by a unit the size of a shoebox. For those of you at home, I strongly recommend take it apart in pieces. We took it down as one unit to show you, the viewers, the length of it, the size of it in relation to the garage. Next, our special guest, Frank Castillo, garage door installer, is going to show us how to install the brand new opener. A special episode with a special friend. I'd love to introduce my friend, Frank Castillo. Frank, thank you so much for being on the show.
Bob, thank you so much for the opportunity. We love your show. We love how you educate the consumer, you educate the person that can go hands-on training. And you're right, we're here to talk about something that doesn't get talked about a lot, but garage doors. A lot of the myths, a lot of the dangers, and a lot of the cons that people really got to watch out for from a lot of companies that are really out there to gouge people as opposed to run an honest, independent business. So again, Bob, we've been doing garage doors for 12 years, and one of the reasons I got into it myself was I noticed the crookedness of the industry. And believe me, I'm not saying I know a lot of great garage door guys out there, and my hat's off to them. But there are a lot of companies that are not out there to help the consumer. They're more to try to gouge them as much as possible.
Well, this show is about exposing and demystifying installations. I cannot stand. On the show, I call them the crooked and overcharging contractors. We spoke earlier before the show about Marketplace. Please tell the viewers about the Marketplace interviews and the sting operation they did. I found that was absolutely amazing.
Bob, you're absolutely right. It was a really interesting thing. I suggest I think it was about a year or two ago, CBC Marketplace did an episode on garage door installers. And what they did is they created some simple errors that can happen to any homeowner and called certain garage door companies to come and inspect and thus give an estimate on these quick, simple fixes. Well, what they found was quite alarming, something that I'd already knew and come across. But what we're going to do is we're going to feature some of these things that can happen to any homeowner, and watch out that you don't get ripped off, and that you come and get in touch with somebody that's honest, that's reliable, not trying to rip you off. And also, we're going to teach you how to repair these small fixes so that in fact you could do it yourself. They're very simple things, and there's certain things, many things in garage doors where you actually should not even touch them. You shouldn't even go near it. And there's certain aspects where they'll try and get you, where there's a simple repair that you could just take a look at it yourself. And I would like to also add that I'm looking forward to showcasing the side mount openers, as you explained before. Fantastic units. We're going to go through all the details. We're going to go through all the beautiful features that they got, and that way we'll educate the people.
Let's explain to the viewers the various types of garage door openers. I know that I just know one is overhead and side mount or wall mount.
That's right. Those are the two types of garage door
Let's go through the
openers.
pros and cons for the viewers.
So what you want to do, first of all, we're going to talk about the features of the wall mount unit. But so you know, the overhead, which is your more standard
I've had that
garage
10
door
years.
openers, the ones
I've really
that
had
just
no
took off.
I've really had no problem with it.
That's it.
You know, to be honest,
Yeah.
I've had no problem with it, but you know how I am with the shop here. I need space.
Right.
The fact that that's coming off the ceiling allows me to extend the attic or add some more shelves.
Yes.
And I also love the fact of the battery backup. The current unit we just took down, no backup.
No backup.
So in the event of a power failure, but tell the viewers a couple of ideas about the real pros compared to the other one.
So what we're installing today is a LiftMaster 8500W. Now this just came on the market about a year ago, and it's got some truly amazing features. For one, it's got a really powerful motor. These things can lift doors up to 14 feet high.
Wow.
And they run it no problem. The important thing to note about these side mount units, and they are a job that you could tackle yourself. However, you must keep in mind that the garage door must be properly balanced before you go ahead and install that unit.
That's
An
key.
improperly balanced door will only cause problems because that's a direct drive, as we're going to showcase in a little bit, and the way it runs, an improperly balanced door, you're going to have nothing but service calls.
And what about extension cords? Not a good idea.
Extension cords, sometimes they have to be done because there's no outlet, so I always tell people make sure you tack it on nicely and make sure it's not on the ceiling or something, or somewhere where you can grab a garden shovel and accidentally tack it up there.
Okay.
And that would be a danger. So if there's no danger where a tool can hit it, then you're okay. So it's
Okay.
really, again, in the installation.
Well, in our case for the shop here, we used armored cable because we've always got some kind of equipment or tools moving in and out. Our electrician extended from where the builder had it located on the ceiling for the overhead and brought it over within 2 feet of where you're going to be putting in your unit.
And that's the way you want to do it, Bob, because that way you're not facing any risks of electrical damage or, again, hitting it with the shovel, so on and so forth.
Well, the viewer here, they also asked a lot about, second part of the question, so to speak, can they install it themselves?
Absolutely, absolutely. The only thing to keep in mind is you had to have a properly balanced garage door, and there's a way to do that. Right now, we'll also show in a little bit, we'll show exactly how the garage door, how you'll determine whether it is balanced or whether it's not balanced through a very simple test. Also, with these machines, they're fantastic. They got bright LED light that comes. That's
Nice,
brand new to
nice,
market.
nice.
There's also a battery backup included, as you mentioned.
I love the battery backup. That was the
Fantastic.
biggest drawing point for myself.
Your
was
power
the battery
goes
backup.
out in the middle of a snowstorm. You got no problem. You push the button, you're in the driveway. No problem.
Terrific.
They last about a day or two without power, so it's essential.
Excellent.
Yeah. And also, I would like to note these come with Wi-Fi compatible already built in, so you could be anywhere in the world and have your door open or closed, know if it's open or closed, or even know if it has been open or closed. So these are fantastic machines. I can't wait to showcase them here on your show and show the viewers the great advantages that they have.
Excellent. Follow us up next after this break. Don't change the channel. Frank's going to be installing the new garage door opener.
Welcome back to the Just Ask Bob show. Today we're talking about garage doors, safety, and as well garage door openers. Again, my name is Frank Castillo with Garage Doorman. Now, a little while back, me and Bob were talking, and we were talking specifically about torsion springs. Torsion springs are basically what make the garage door go up and down. Now, recently, we had Bob on his shop, his spring broke. And what you'll find when the spring breaks is this coil will actually be in two pieces, like that. And that's what we came across. Now, Bob asked me, is this something that a homeowner or somebody with technical aptitude should try? And the answer is an emphatic no. And I will tell you why. These springs are loaded with tremendous force. And there are countless of horror stories of people that actually do try it themselves and get severely hurt. Number one, they don't have the proper know-how. And number two, they don't have the proper tools, which are these. These are torsion spring bars. You need them to put here, and you need the leverage. Now, this isn't enough. If you don't have the know-how, again, you are risking breaking your wrists in several places, so on and so forth, serious injury. So, I always tell people this. Garage door repairs shouldn't even cost more than, for example, $500. So to risk you breaking your hand, breaking your wrist in two to try to save a couple $100 is really not worth it. Not only that, I've come across many that have tried to fix it themselves, and when I show up, I gotta undo what they did, and they end up getting charged double because I have to undo their mistakes in order for the garage door to work properly. Now, as you can see, we've installed, these are brand new springs right here. They make the door nicely balanced. As well, Bob added some insulation to the garage door, which actually changes the weight of the garage door. So we gave him a much stronger spring in order to correctly balance the door. We're also going to be showcasing the side mount jack shaft opener, which, like I said before, you need a properly balanced door in order to get the proper functioning of the machine. So right now, we're going to show you how you can test your garage door to see if it is properly balanced, or you need a technician to adjust it or make it run properly. So there's an easy test for a homeowner to try with their garage door to see whether it's properly balanced or not. So what you're going to do is you're going to put it in close to the mid position and see if it holds its own weight. If it holds its own weight, just like that, and doesn't shoot up or doesn't fall down, then it's properly balanced. Not only in this part, but you also move it down to almost 3/4 of the way closed. And it must hold its own weight. It cannot fall and it cannot shoot up. That's how you know you have a properly balanced door. If you have that, then you can go ahead and install this opener yourself with relative ease. It would take you probably just about 2 hours. So let's go check out the opener. Justin is going to show us how to install the jack shaft side mount unit. As you can see, he's going to show that it's done with relative ease, and as long as you keep things straight and level, everything should be okay. So Justin, please. You'll find that this opener actually works on a direct drive off the shaft, which is on the torsion spring. So it controls the shaft, which is the long bar that the torsion spring fits on. That's what it controls, and it drives it up and down. Unlike your conventional garage door opener that pushes and pulls the garage door, this simply gets attached to the tube or shaft that the garage door torsion spring runs on. Basically takes a couple bolts around the shaft, and then a couple legs on the bottom where it's going to be hooked into place. Now again, a homeowner, you probably take about an hour or two, and ensuring, of course, doing the proper testing with the garage door, making sure that it's balanced. You could also install it yourself and maybe call a garage door technician to adjust the garage door if it's not balanced. These are very popular also on garage doors, where garage doors are going higher than the frame. They're actually called high lift garage doors. Now these applications, usually homeowners want to get a hoist in their garage and so on and so forth, and just want to extend that ceiling space. This is the perfect unit for that. Also, if you have a really tall door, say an 8-foot door, tall door, 9-foot, 10-foot tall door, or even up to 14, this, of course, it being a residential application, will work marvelously with your garage door. Not really meant for commercial applications, as it's only really supposed to open up to 10 times in an hour. Now Justin's lagging the bottom of the garage door. It gets lagged. This garage door opener also features, again, a battery backup, which Justin can show you. It goes into that right case on the bottom of the garage door unit. It simply clips onto two little wires. There's a Phillips screwdriver, a Phillips screw head, short small, that unlocks the box, and in which time you can plug in the battery. Keep in mind, these batteries do have to be replaced about every 5 years, because that is the lifespan of the battery itself. Because this is a direct drive, we always have to have tension on the cable. And it's right there. And that'll tell the motor whether the cable is loose or not, and it'll stop the machine from functioning, because if the cable comes loose, the whole garage door will need repair and will not be able to be pushed up or pulled down at all. So that cable on the side always needs to be tense, and that sensor senses whether it gets loose at all. So it's a great and wonderful safety feature so that the garage door doesn't fall down on you. We're going to have this thing wired up and running in no time. So now we're going to showcase one of the greatest features that this garage door opener has, and it has an automatic deadbolt. So basically, automatically, it bolts in when the door is closed and bolts out when the door is opening. Now this is a fantastic feature. It's pretty easy. Comes with a template that you put on the track, and we already pre-drilled the holes, and all you got to do is add the screws. Justin's installing that right now. On the other end of the lock is a little wire we just simply clip on with a quick connect connector. So it's fairly simple, and honestly, customers love this feature because it's added security, and if you should ever need to use it manually, you also have a lock in place, which is a simple deadbolt which can be actuated manually and as well as automatic. So right now it's Justin just putting the screws in. The screws have thread locker in them, so they actually don't loosen. So you always want to keep that in mind. Don't replace it with other screws that isn't meant to have, because it doesn't have the thread locker, and it'll loosen up in a matter of weeks. So right now Justin's just doing that. Then as soon as it closes, this actually goes right on top of the roller, and that prevents it from anybody trying to break in or trying to supersede the garage door opener. Okay, fantastic. So one of the things we were discussing is the sensor switches on the bottom of a garage door. This is a cause and a reason for a lot of service calls that are generated. Now I'll show you something real simple. As you'll notice, right now there's a green light on that sensor. Now green light, like green means go. Green means you're good. You want a green solid light. But a lot of times you'll move a hose, a shovel, and it just gets misaligned a little bit. As you notice, there's no green light on that sensor anymore. Now, as I mentioned before on CBC Marketplace, they did it, and they turned that on purpose. And they found that many garage door opener technicians and crooked companies would come in and try to sell you a new machine, even a new door, a new circuit board, and so on and so forth, when all you really needed was to adjust that back to line level, look for that solid light, and you're good to go. So if you have a problem where the door is not closing and the light is blinking, simply take a look at your sensor and look for that green light. Now I want to show you another safety feature that it has. This door has a pressure safety sensor. So as the door is coming down, if you happen to be under it, or a cat or an animal or your mother-in-law, it'll go back and save them from any injury. The test for your garage door openers, make sure these sensors are lined up and lit up, and also do a pressure test. Mind you, don't use your shoulder. Use a piece of 2x4 on the floor, on the concrete floor, and the garage door, when it hits that 2x4, should bounce back up and detect that there's a change in the pressure of the travel. So right now, we've got all the opener hooked up, and we're going to showcase the operation on Just Ask Bob. Now I want to show you something. I'm just going to press the remote. I want you to hear how quiet this is. Nobody's going to hear you coming in or out, and no neighbor's going to be bothered by you going to work in the morning, because this is an absolutely quiet unit. And once again, we'll do that again. One of my favorite openers. And we have the deadbolt that locks it automatically. Fantastic. Also comes with a super bright LED light that can be installed anywhere in the garage, and it only needs an electrical socket, and it wirelessly communicates to the machine. We've also programmed a button so that it can be operated if just the light is to come on and off with the clicker or remote. And there's also a button on the wall, and the button tells you the time, it tells you the temperature, and you can program all sorts of features on it, including an automatic close, such as if you're like me and you're a little forgetful, leave the garage door open, you can program it to close after an hour of it being open, or a half an hour, or however long you want it to close automatically, just in case you forgot. Really wonderful feature. Not only that, it's got the Wi-Fi, so should you want to hook it up to your phone, you don't have to, but should you want to, you also have access from there. Let's open it one more time. So as you can see, with a properly balanced garage door, this is a fantastic opener to work with. I'm really happy to showcase it here on Bob's show. In fact, Bob is gone. I didn't even hear him leave. It's so quiet. He snuck right out. So we'll be right back with Bob's top picks and Bob's bewares.
Welcome back, Hamilton, to the Just Ask Bob show, one of the easiest shows I've ever done. I've been in hiding for most of the episode. Big shout out, big thanks to Frank Castillo. Amazing. I love him, and I know you, the viewers, will love him. This is a true professional. I met him several years ago, and I knew at that point I had to have him on as a guest. A true professional. His contact information will be up on the screen. Now to talk about Bob's bewares and Bob's top picks. For the beware, unfortunately, a conditional beware. Let's be easy on LiftMaster. This is the LiftMaster unit that goes in your sun visor in your car. Now, the problem with this unit, potentially, is that picture this now. If your vehicles are parked outside in the driveway and not inside the garage, if a thief breaks into your car or somehow gets access to the vehicle, they can press this, open the garage door, come inside, loot the place, or even potentially get inside your home. Now, this 8500 model that we've showcased on today's episode has a lockout feature on the wall-mounted keypad. So now you got to think about this. You have to remember, if you do leave the unit in the on the sun visor in the vehicle, every single evening before you go to bed, you should enable the lockout on the keypad. So now if somebody makes their way into your vehicle in the driveway and they access the unit, it will not open the lift mechanism for the garage door. Now again, that's a provision on the LiftMaster 8500. For the viewers at home, you'll have to check your instruction manual to find out if your unit has that bypass feature. Now, for Bob's top pick, for the first time, it's not a product, it's not a service, it's an actual person. Frank Castillo of the Garage Doorman. Contact him, he's a gentleman. Hope you enjoyed the show. We're very easy to contact. Proudly the largest site on the largest website on the net, www.justaskbob.com. Again, that's www.justaskbob.com. Or Bob's Old School. Pick up the phone. 289-649-0196. Again, that's 289-649-0196. Thank you, Hamilton.
Bob's gone. I don't even know where he is. So we'll be right back with Bob's top picks. Damn it. Bob's bewares. Bob's bewares and top picks.